use, understand, manage. Perceive is around body language, perceptions, self-awareness is where perceive falls in. Use is around how do you use your perceptions to promote clear thinking. Understand is, do you understand and interpret people's emotions and therefore be able to manage them? If you asked me, of course, academia is such that you first present the model as it is and then you can critique. If you asked me, I would say it should be perceive, understand, manage, use. So instead of being PUM, I would personally pitch for PUMU, PUM model. Why? Because my understanding is I perceive both my emotional intelligence and the intelligence of others. After I've perceived, I understand. I'm trying to label both mine and that person. So understand. And then after I've understood, I manage those emotions. And once I've managed them, I use them. Use them for clear thinking, use them for strategy creation, use them. So I would personally say that whereas the official model by those people is PUM, I would personally say do PUMU. That way, you know how to move forward with it. This would be, I believe, the second last slide. This is what I call the holistic professional growth. And to me, a holistic professional should have the knowledge, the skills, the values, the attitudes. And clearly you can see that knowledge is technical competence. I mean, IQ. IQ, marketing, I know how to do marketing, IQ, first layer. But over and above knowledge, do you have the skills? And the skills is the other 10 that I talked about. Do you have the skills that can oil your knowledge? Over and above the skills, do you have the values? Are you honest? Are you respectable? Time management. We started 15 minutes late. That's an issue, time management. Are you responsible? Now, that's important because let me just talk about responsibility. If you don't have the value of responsibility, and that's what you air out, that's what I see as the boss, then if you're not responsible as an employee, why should I promote you into leadership? So that way you have the knowledge. So I will keep you there. You will keep, you know how to do things on your own because you have the brain, you have the IQ, but you don't have the value of honesty. You don't have the value of respect. You have quarreled with every person in your department. How do you hope to be promoted if you have failed to, bring forward the value of respect? Now, after values, attitudes. There are positive attitudes, negative attitudes, neutral attitudes, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. We have a whole training around that. Do you have the attitude that is relevant for yourself and your workplace or your place of learning? Which attitude is required, and are you seeing it? And that saying down to actual sayings, I think bring forward my personal thinking around this model. What got you through the door won't bring you to the table. What got you through the door is your knowledge. CPA. We need an accountant. CPA got you through the door. The challenge is, if you don't have the skills, values, and attitudes that we need at the workplace, you will stay at entry level. You stay accountant. Others that have the knowledge and then the skills, values, and attitudes will come and move forward, and you stay there, and then you start saying you are being witch hunted by your boss. No, nobody's witch hunting you. You just have IQ, but you're not complete as an employee, as a professional. So how do you become holistic as a professional? Because once you're holistic, then you are assured of moving forward, going up. And as I said, the theme of this topic is leveraging emotional intelligence for professional growth. My point, my submission is If you're not holistic, and by holistic, I mean all these boxes are ticked off, you are not going to go up. Or even when you go up, you have challenges at the top, because you'll be like the boss that I talked about at the beginning, who, when the accident happened, his interest was, is the car safe? And yet the car had some 4 other stuff. So you should be a holistic staff, a holistic employee, for you to be professional and be able to sustainably go up. The second saying there is, what brought you to the shore won't take you through the waves. Why? Because the skill set you need to come towards the shore is not the skill set you need to move on the waters. And the waters are leadership waters. The waters are organizational management waters. How do you have a complete skill set so that when the knowledge gets you to the shore, the skills, values, and attitudes can take you through the waters? So very important for us to think through there. That would be the last one. And that would be homework. I told you I work with an education organization, and homework is part of what we do in education programming. So I got the 10 values, the 10 life skills that I showed you previously, and did a matrix which I believe can replace the 360 feedback process. So problem solving, critical thinking, effective communication, all the 10. Can you talk with somebody that you call your friend? And the definition of friend is something that was given to me by my old man. He told me that a friend is someone who tells you things that you wouldn't want to hear. So don't give this to your fellow colleagues at work who will just write things that you want to hear. Because you see, at the end of the day, this is for your personal development. This mapping is for your personal development. So can you give this matrix to somebody? This could be your coach, your mentor. This could be your workmate who you know are close to and they don't mind telling you the truth. Your bestie, as we call them these days. Can you give them this matrix and ask them the question, can you rank for me on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is lowest and 5 is highest? What do you think I score in each of these 10 life skills? And very importantly, why? Now, the why is where the action comes in. If they will rank you and tell you problem solving, you are at 2. Why? Because you don't seem to understand the challenge before solving it. Or effective communication, they might tell you, you do not listen to learn, you listen to respond. Something for us to think about even right now. When you're listening, do you listen to learn or do you listen to respond? So somebody can give you that. Now, the action there will be going forward or go for a coaching session on effective communication. That's the action. Timeline by August. So get this matrix, give it to whoever can give you truthful feedback, not the feedback I talked about earlier with 360 feedback, where it is either too bad and people are just fighting wars on 360, or too good for you to get an action point out of it. Get this matrix and give it to somebody who can give you truthful feedback, and you'll be amazed at how well you can improve your workplace, the way you relate with people, because you'll be working on actionable feedback. That's how I would end this session, the presentation side, the discussion side, before we go to the Q&A. The most important investment you can make is in yourself. Usually, I usually add another saying to that one, and that saying is, personal development is personal. So it's up to you. It's in your interest and nobody else's, not your organization, to invest in your personal development. Part of what you may need to invest in is your EQ abilities. So please invest time, invest energy in trying to analyze. That one will actually fit into the first one, self-management. and self-awareness. If you're not self-aware, you cannot self-manage. So invest time in growing yourself so that along the way you become a better individual and become a better employee, become a better professional. So that's where I would stop. Thank you very much for listening. And I now am ready to take your questions. Over to you, Fiona.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So anyone that has a question can leave it in the chat and I will read it out.